Good morning. Today is the last class of this term and it's a Friday, so it will be cultural studies. Can you tell me what is the theme of this cultural studies that we are doing right now? Our environment. Very good. Our environment is the theme for this term. Every term we have new things coming up, right? You did wonders in the garden, you did animal kingdom, then now we are doing our environment, and next term 4, it's going to be a new topic. Okay, so what all did you learn in our environment? We were learning about how to take care of our environment, and if there is going to be any kind of thing that is spoiling our environment, that is what you call as pollution, how you will try to find solutions for that, how to stop it or how to prevent that pollution from happening. And what are all the different pollutions that we learnt about? We learnt about land pollution, water pollution, air pollution. Air pollution we have not done much. Last time we saw about water pollution. Yeah, we saw about water pollution, but we did talk about air pollution. Then what else did we see? There was something called light pollution. Yes, lights coming from the buildings and from the tall buildings and from the street lights, that is going to disturb whom? Us and the birds and animals. Yeah, the birds need to go to sleep, right? So if there is going to be light all the time, they will not be able to differentiate between the sunlight and the street light, and it can confuse them. Okay, they will not be comfortable. Similarly for animals. Then we had sound pollution. Too much of noise in a place that can leave them disturbed. For example, I told you Diwali. For Diwali, there's going to be lots of crackers bursting. You yourself will put your plug your ears with your fingers, right? Yes, because you don't want to hear that banging sound, bang, bang, whatever that sound going, that bursting sound. You don't want to hear it, right? It disturbs you. It will be disturbance for so many people, particularly elderly people, old people who are very tired. Let's say they are going to pour water into a glass. Suddenly something bursts. It can kind of, disturb them, right? They will be shocked by that sound. So they may end up spilling. So elderly people and little children who are sleeping, who are taking a good nap, at that time when the cracker is bursting, how will it be? Yeah, they lose their sleep and they start crying. They start crying, right? Those of you who have baby brothers and sisters at home, one small noise is enough, they will wake up. Of course, you will not do the noise pollution. I know you are all very caring children, but I am talking about things that happen around us. Yeah, so that kind of sound or noise coming from bursting crackers or from honking. Honking means the horn of the car. When you go pam pam pam, that can be a disturbance, right? So there are certain places where you should not horn. You should not horn your vehicle in front of schools, not in front of hospitals, and not in front of places of worship where you go to pray. You would have seen traffic signals. Yes, in traffic signal there is one signal which says sound no horn. No horn. There will be a picture, it will be a circle, red circle with a picture of a horn, but struck off, right, with a red line. Yeah, which means that you cannot sound horn there, because that will leave the school children disturbed, the patients in the hospital will be disturbed, or the people who are worshipping, they will also be disturbed. So you cannot sound horn in front of them. This is one way of preventing. Another one is, who else will be disturbed by the sound? Animals. The bursting of crackers, that can disturb the animals. They are used to listening to the very peaceful sound, right? Yeah, I heard in the news very recently when we had New Year celebration. I think it was in Italy, a place in Europe. Europe. Yeah, there when it was New Year, they were bursting crackers right at 12 o'clock, right? At 12 o'clock what happens? They burst crackers, right? Happy New Year! Bang, 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 the crackers go, right? So when the fireworks were going on suddenly, because it is a pandemic time, nobody is going out, no vehicles are going, nothing is moving, it's absolutely silent. And suddenly at 12 o'clock when the firecrackers went, the birds started flying here and there, and they were hitting each other and banging on the building, and they started falling dead. That was very sad. Birds were simply falling. So many birds, they just they didn't know. Suddenly then they were surprised to hear the sound. They were scared somebody was shooting at them. They were flying this way, that way, this way, that. They were all sleeping, right? So they started hitting each other, hitting the buildings, not able to fly, and they fell down. They got injured and they fell down. Some of them died. Okay, this happened when the firecrackers went at 12 o'clock. So that is why the government is telling that you cannot have these loudspeakers when some function is going on or a party is going on. You cannot have music after 10 o'clock, because after 10 o'clock everybody goes to sleep. So whatever it is, you cannot burst crackers or play loud music after 10 o'clock, because it will create sound pollution. Okay, so we saw land pollution, water pollution, air pollution, light pollution and sound pollution, and there are ways we can definitely stop. The government will say the ways of stopping them, and we have to follow, simply follow. If others are not following, then we have to complain. We have to first go tell them to stop it. If they don't stop it, you have to go and complain. I told you, right, there is a supreme law, Constitution of India. Yeah, on Republic Day I told you about that. So you have the right to go and tell them you cannot disturb me. Okay, so if you can do that, well and good. Now we'll go to our exercises that we have in our workbook. Mostly it is going to be about, because it's the last day, it is going to be about a revision, that's all. Okay, let's see what are all there. Come. In this page, they have given you pictures here. Those of you who can read what is under it, well and good. Try and read it. Otherwise, you take the help of your parents to read it out for you. Here on one side, we have the different problems that we create for the environment. And this side, we have the solution. Solution in the correct answer for this problem. Whatever problem is created here, how can you set it right or make it right? Let's see. First one, you see a picture of someone cutting a tree. Okay. Next you see some things littered. Littered means thrown here and there. What we call as kuppை. Okay. There are some cardboard boxes. There are some things, some food, apple core which is lying, which is rotting, smelly socks, bottles, cans, everything lying outside the garbage. Okay, when it is lying like that, when you throw like that and go, you say you're littering. Littering. So the sign will say, there may be a signboard which says do not litter. Okay, litter. Next one is that of a vehicle, a transport vehicle which is giving out smoke. It is polluting the air. Okay. Next one, on this side, we see somebody dropping a banana peel into the bin. Okay. Then you see two children. What are they doing? They are potting a plant. Okay. Next one, you see a boy riding a bicycle. Okay. Now we will see one by one what is the problem and what solution you can give. So the problem is on this side, solution, your answer for that is on this side. When someone is cutting a tree, we are going to lose a lot of green, right? The green shade for the for us, for the bird's nest. We are going to lose all that, and the oxygen that we can get, and the rain also. We lose rain also if trees are gone. So if the trees are going to be cut, what can we do? Are we going to sit and cry? No, we have to do something from here. What shall we do? We can grow more plants, right? Yes, we can start planting. So draw a line. This is the right answer for this problem. Next one. If you're going to litter things, it's going to be bad for the environment. So what is the right way? Can you throw the things just like that anywhere? No. What is the answer? Bin it. Yes, you have to bin it. You have to put the waste into a bin. So do not litter. Next one. There is a vehicle transport that pollutes the air. Which picture is telling you the best way to stop pollution? Cycling. Yes. When you are cycling, there is no smoke coming out from there. So definitely the air will be good. One more way of stopping this smoke will be taking mass transport, that is going by bus. All of you going by bus, all of you going by train or aircraft. Okay, instead of going one by one in one scooter or one car, go together in a bus or a train or a van or a airplane or a ship also. Okay, so that is one way. You can also stop your cars and scooters and vehicles when you are at a signal. When it says stop signal, you can switch off your engine. That way smoke will not come out. We'll move to the next page. Now we'll go to the next page, and you have here again sentences written here. I hope you have started reading sentences. Yeah, so sentences are written here. Either you can read it by yourself or you can ask your parents to help you. I'll read out for you and you have to tell me which could be the right answer for that sentence. Now what do you see here? There's a ship. Okay. Now what is the problem of a ship being in water? Too many ships in water? That can be a problem for the creatures that live in water. Sometimes there will be some oil leak also. The ships, yeah, they may be carrying oil or they will be running with oil, right? So if it is going to leak, it will leak into the sea, the ocean. Then what will happen? Oil will not mix with water. Oil is going to stay over the water, on top of the water. That can be very bad for the fishes that live in water. That oily thing over the water, it will stick to their body when they come somewhere. Sometimes when they come up for getting some air or getting some sunlight, that oil will stick to their body and they will not be able to swim. Okay, also it will start giving very bad smell. That will disturb the animals, the fishes and the creatures that live underwater. Okay, even animals like for example the sea cow or the, let's say, walrus. Yeah, walrus, the otter. What happens? They are all coming out of the water and in and out of water. If there's going to be a ship, an oil leak from the ship, what will happen? These creatures will become oily. And then can you give them a shampoo bath? Nobody can give them a shampoo bath. So they are going to be oily always, which is not good for them. So they will die very soon. So you should be very careful about ships carrying oil. Then next one is a picture of too many cars. Yeah, there can be noise pollution as well as air pollution because of the smoke coming out. Next is a picture of a farmer. He is spraying pesticides. Pesticide is a kind of liquid which has some medicine in it. Okay, and when they are going to spray that, what will happen? Any worm that is climbing on the plant, that will die. Okay, for example, let's say this plant is of that of a brinjal. Okay, so when the brinjal, if a worm is climbing up to the plant, of course, yes, they need food, right? Yeah, so when they climb up and they are trying to have the brinjal or the flower, the farmer will be a little annoyed. Oh my, all my brinjals are getting eaten by the caterpillars and by the worms. Nobody will buy brinjal which has worms in it, right? So what he does? He will spray. He will spray pesticide because those are pests. Remember we had learned wonders in the garden, who are all the pests? So he will spray a pesticide. So all the worms will die. No problem with that. But what happened? That pesticide is a poison. It is harmful. It will spoil the vegetable and also it is spoiling the land. All that pesticide will finally go into land. The land is not ready for that. So you will end up making the land poisonous. Okay, too much of pesticides, you will end up making the land poisonous or toxic. You call it toxic. Next one, you have here just one tree. What about the other trees? They are all chopped. Must have taken it for furnitures or must have been cut for making roads and buildings. Okay, now we'll read the sentences and see which picture will match to that. First one, the soil gets poisoned. The soil gets poisoned. Which picture is that? Yeah, the farmer spraying pesticide. The soil gets poisoned. You can ask mommy to read it for you. Next one. The plants and animals in the sea will die. The plants and animals in the sea, in the ocean, they will die. Why? When there is an oil leak from the ship. You can do that. Next one. The soil in the ground becomes loose and it gets washed away in the sea. Okay, when there's too much of rain, it might get washed away, the land. Which one is that? When does the soil get washed away? When you cut the trees. When you cut and take away all the trees from there, remember I told you the roots, they will hold the land in place. Now when you cut the tree and take off the root, uproot the trees, you call them uproot the trees. When you take it off, then the land is loose. So when it starts raining heavily, pouring, or when there is some river there, that land will get washed away. Okay? So the soil in the ground becomes loose and gets washed away. You can draw a line to that. Last sentence, the air gets polluted. Which picture? Air gets polluted? Yeah, the car and the bikes and all the transport vehicles which will give out smoke. Draw a line to that. Let's move to the next page. Next one is noise pollution, air pollution, land pollution and water pollution. It is there in all the boxes. Okay. Now you have to draw lines to the pictures that match to this name. Here is a picture of water into which the sewage is poured. The dirty water is mixing in it. So this has to be water pollution. Then here you have a garbage. Okay. It's all dumped here. Littering. So this can be land pollution. And here what do you hear? See, so many vehicles, the buses, they are honking. Pom pom pom. So this could be noise pollution. And we have here vehicles moving in and out and going in the road with a lot of smoke coming out. So this could be air pollution. Will you match it to the correct word? Yeah, okay. We'll move to the next page. In the next page, you have two pictures. Now you will have to color that picture which is good for the earth. What is good for the earth? The smoke coming out from the factory or planting more trees? I think planting more trees would be best thing you can do to earth, right? Definitely you are going to get fresh air, and the land is also going to stay intact, and birds will get homes for living. So you can color this picture. And what is bad in this? What is going to pollute the earth? The smoke. Yeah, the smoke and maybe the fumes. Fumes means the gas which is coming out from there. That could be really bad for us. So you can cut it off. Okay, you can use a black crayon and cut it off, score it off. No to this. And you can color this. Easy? Okay, we have just one more page to go. The last one is about the three elements. You remember what are the three elements? Okay, I will tell you one by one. Land, air and water. We have an activity here where you will do the land, air and water element. There are more elements, but the most important element for the earth to be a livable place is land, air and water, because no other planet has all these three in correct combination. That is the land for us to live on, and the water to drink and keep us healthy, and the air, fresh air to breathe so that we can continue to live. This is there only on earth. And you will have to look at the picture and say, what does this picture signify? For example, there is a hot air balloon here. Which one would you want to tick? Land or air? What is a hot air balloon associated with? Air. Yes, the word itself has it. Hot air balloon. You need air for this hot air balloon to go up. Is it not? Okay. Similarly, look at these pictures and say which will be the right word that you can tick. The three important elements, as I said you, is land, air and water. Without this, we cannot live on earth, we cannot live on any planet. Okay, we need air. You need air for breathing. I also told that if there is no air, you will not be able to listen to me, because air has this, air is a medium, they say, through that only the sound travels. Okay, if there is air, then only the sound, whatever sound I am making, will move. Otherwise, the sound will not reach your ears. Okay, so if you are in any other planet or you are going to be in moon, no matter how much you yell out, you scream at me, I will not be able to hear, because there is no air. Even if you took oxygen with you and went for you to breathe, astronaut goes with oxygen, right? Yes, they go with oxygen, but they will not be able to hear when they are out in the space. Inside their spacecraft, inside their rocket, yes, they can hear, because there will be oxygen inside it. But when they come out, there is no air, they will not be able to hear the other person. When they say, hi, how are you? They will not be able to hear. So air is very important even for listening. Okay, the land, air and water. I'll show you the material which we have at school. We'll take a quick look at it. You can come and work here. Come. I have here the three main pictures which says land, which shows the soil, air, just for you to know that air is there all around you. There is a sky with clouds, and water. For that I have shown the ocean. Now take a look at this picture. Which element will it imply? Is it land, air or water? It has to be a water, because fishes need water for living. Take a look at this picture. Where should it go? It's a kite. What does a kite need for flying? It needs wind. Yes, wind. So we put it under air. Take a look at this. What is this? It's a plant growing? Okay. Then where does a plant grow? What do you see here? Land? Okay. Then we'll put it under land. Okay. Take a look at the next picture. It's a train moving. Where should I put it? Under air or water or land? Land. It's a land transport. Let's take a look at the next one. Aircraft or aeroplane. The name itself has air in it, right? Yes, it is an air transport. So we will leave it under air. Then a boat. It's a water transport. So let's leave it under water. Hot air balloon under air. Then I have here farming activity. Somebody is farming there with the tractor. What does it imply? What do you see there? Land. So let's put it under land. Okay. Then let's see this one. That's a duck. Not really a duck. What is it doing? It is moving in the water. Okay, so we'll put it under water. Like that, there are more pictures here which you can sort out and say whether it comes under land, air and water. You can do it when you come to school. I need to show you one more thing. If you look at the things around you, anything, okay, anything that you look around you, you can you classify them or you can sort them into two. One is called as a living and the other will be the non-living. Okay, you can read it. Things. Things can be two types. One can be living or living, non-living. You're able to read it, right? I'm sure you can read it. So things can be living or non-living things. What is living thing? Anything which is breathing, okay, anything which needs food, anything that grows, okay, all these are living things. For example, take a look at yourself. Do you all grow? Yes, you're growing taller and taller, is it not? And some are going fatter and fatter also. Do you need air for breathing? Yes, you need air for breathing. Then, what did I say next? Living things will move. It can move. We've already learned this. You are moving from one place to another, right? Let's take plant for example. Do plants move? They don't move, but yes, they can sway a little bit. When the wind is blowing, they do sway a little bit. But that's not the movement I'm talking about. They move around, like how butterflies move around, the insects move around, like that they move. But the plant, definitely, it is growing. Then it needs food, right? It makes its own food. We learn in the wonders of the garden. The plant makes its own food with the help of sunlight, water, okay, and the minerals from the soil. From under the soil, the root will get the mineral and the water it wants, and the sunlight and the carbon dioxide. Is it not? Yeah. So when it is getting all these things, it is making its own food by itself. It doesn't. Plants do not go to the kitchen to make food. They make their own food all by themselves with things around them. Okay. Then one more thing is, living things, anyway they'll all die one day. Anything, let it be plants or let it be animals like insects, birds, we all will die one day. So all living things will definitely die or they will perish, they will go away. Okay, so that is how you identify living things. Whereas non-living things, they will not die. They will continue to remain as long as it is kept there. If a building is made, it will remain there. A building is not a living thing. Can a building grow by itself? No. Does a building need food? No. Does the building keep moving? No. Does a building die? Will it die? No, it stays there only always unless you go and break it. Let's take a car for example. Will a car need, does a car move? Yes, it moves. Does the car need food? Yes, it needs fuel for moving. But does the car grow? Does it grow? No. Does it die? No. So it is a non-living thing. So this way you will be able to see what is a living thing and what is a non-living thing. Another one important thing about living and non-living thing is living things will give birth to young ones. Did we not see what is a young one of a horse called? What is a young one of a kangaroo called? What is a young one of a hen called? They all give birth, right? Either they will lay eggs. They are called oviparous animals, right? They lay eggs. Or the others were called as mammals. They give birth to young ones. Like the cow, the dog, the donkey, they give birth to young ones. Whereas birds and some insects, they are laying eggs. So they are making young ones. They are bringing young ones. Non-living things will not bring young ones. Can a building bring a new building? Can a car give a new car? Doesn't give, right? So that is why they are non-living things. So just like our land, air and water material, we have one material here in school which we talk about the living things and non-living things. Okay, where you will, I'll show you what it is. Come take a look. In this pouch, you will find cards like this where you will differentiate between living things and non-living things. A book is a non-living thing. This is a scarecrow, okay, to chase the crows from the field. This is not a living thing, okay, this is not, it's a scarecrow. Buildings are non-living things. Laptops are non-living things. Frog is a living thing. Lizard is a living thing. Tulips, they are living. Fishes are living thing. Land is not a living thing. Jellyfish, they are living things. Grass is a living thing. Snail is a living thing. Butterfly is a living thing. Dogs are living things. Water is not a living thing. Tree is a living thing. Car is not a living thing. When you say not living things, you say non-living. Clock, non-living. Clouds, non-living. Parrot, living. Sun, non-living. I am giving you this information so that you can come and work out in school. There are few children who have not opted to, they have opted to stay at home and study. So for them, they have to know this. We have already learned this, but this will help them. I am just trying to help you remember, because when you go for your entrance test for your first standard, sometimes they will ask you this. What are living things and non-living things? So for you to remember that, I am showing it to you. Okay? Fine children, I'll meet you all in school. As I told you, this is the last class. We will not be having videos in the next week. Instead, you will come to school and you will work with the materials. Bring all your books without fail. Bye-bye.